I don't feel like I have anything valuable to say. No, have I had anything valuable to say forever. Um, but I have like one thing on the heart. I think it's safe to say that a lot of us waste time. It's safe to say that everyone practically just wastes time in their life, and some people don't get the chance to do things they want to do. I think I mentioned this in another video, but my mom constantly talking about like how when she was young she wanted to learn guitar. And I hear my nan speak about how when she was a young girl in her 20s she wanted to work but she couldn't because the husband wouldn't let her, and that was life. Um, and there's so many different obstacles, so many different issues that get in the way to prevent somebody from doing what they want to actually do. And I have to say, when it comes to writing, everything does seemingly have to fall into place because like when you force the writing, it's probably a reason why Kafka didn't like his work so much. At least from my perspective, when you force your writing so much, it actually loses a lot of the love you have for it, and regardless of material, you end up not liking it at the end. Last night I had a short story that I had in my mind, and I just wanted to jot it down. I could expand it later on, but practically, it was just a story about a guy in a train and he walks to another platform and it's like, weird. That's all it is. I was thinking like, okay, well, if that's just the premise, then what's the subtext? What's the tone? What's the real nitty gritty thing I'm trying to say inside of it that like a weird platform represents? I thought laziness, and I thought like letting life pass you by and stuff, but I'm not quite sure. And I wrote the ending like after I took an hour break to go do some other shit that I shouldn't have took a break on. It was really dumb. I should have just let the flow continue, and I would have finished like understanding what I'd wrote previously. Um, but there was that, and it was good. But everything has to line up. Everything has to line up so perfectly. You know, that you have to have your mind right, and you have to have your external circumstances right, and to really push yourself to write is about maybe disregarding the circumstances sometimes and going above and beyond. No matter where you are, as long as you got that creative drive. And we're humans. I don't think anyone can just sort of bust out a story, bust out a poem. You know, uh, whenever you're in like a class situation, I'm in class and time. Whenever you're in a class situation and they start busting out like exercises, and you're like, whoa, 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 big man, I did not sign up for this. You know, I did not sign up for this. What's going on? I can't whip out a master class right now. I think circumstances and timing really do play a big part in it all. But with that being said, um, I dread to think the amount of people in the world who let such talent and skill and art pass them by because they were too tired, because the circumstances didn't line up, because maybe their circumstances were hard and they just didn't have the fight to go after it, or they had the self doubt, they had the hatred, they had all those reasons to not. Whatever it is, I'm sure that everybody has in some way their own complex reason to why they don't do the very thing that they should do, the very thing that's special and unique about them. And I think this video is just sort of an ode to that, an ode to the talent that's passed us by. I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to see it. I'm sorry that we never got a chance to witness it. I'm sorry that we never had agents and publishers, and I'm sorry we never had passion and purpose. You know, I'm sorry that we never had the dream. I'm sorry that we never had enough love for ourselves to sit down and make it work the way that it should have. Because inside of every single one of us, and I mean every single one of us, is the ability to create such beautiful artwork that I think we all take for granted. We all take for granted. And we all hate our own work. And we all think everyone's better than ourselves. Unless you've got a big fuck off ego like me. And we all think that the things we do are inconsequential and the things we do are so minimal. But it's just not true. It's just not true. I have a friend, Navi, struggling with so much life. I pray for the day that he's able to sit down and write something. Because I know that's going to be a good addition to the world. I have a guy from class, Nate, who I'm jealous of and I'm envious of, and in my mind plays tricks on a man who's just the same age as me, and he's just a good man. And I know the day he sits down and the day he writes something, that'll be a good addition to the world. I have people who I care about, like my sister, my brother, my uncle, my mom. I knew that if they did something with a creative outlet, the world would be a better place because of it. But they don't, and I don't know why. I know there's a reason, but I don't know what that reason is. And I'll never be capable of understanding that reason. Maybe in a small, unique way, but you'll never understand what's going on in people's hearts. And I think that's the difficulty of it. But we have people like Van Gogh that show, even if you are fucked up, the art does sort of speak for itself. But there's a paradox in there because I never want anyone to be like Van Gogh. I never want anyone to, well, shoot themselves or either be killed. It's up for debate now. Um, Anyone I think is capable of making beautiful style. You know, pick up some paints and do something. You know, and do it for a while. Whatever it is, find some outlet. There's so many other people I could talk about, you know. The lads on Raby Street, all those kids who fight and struggle, and they have their prides, their egos, they have their culture, which it's shite, it's fucking caca, it's just them wanting to be hard gangsters. If they would pack that in, shut the fuck up, and be poets, they would be some fucking good poets. I can tell you that now. They could have some rawness to say. They could have some real words to say. They could talk about such deep effects of what life brings, you know, what poverty and drugs and what mental health and what cultness is like, you know, that cult of the culture they live in. I mean, when I did that thing not too long ago when I was working with the kids in Lytton Phil, I had that beautiful opportunity, you know, completely out of my hands. I had that beautiful opportunity, that volunteering, and these kids, all of them, all of them, all of them, every single one of them have the ability to be a great writer. Every single. There's so much issue, and there's so much pain, there's so much hurt, there's so much. There's so much misgivings in the world that happens on purpose, and that happens in subconscious, and that happens by ignorance, in the good ignorance and in the bad ignorance. That just lets things pass by. And things, mind you, things do fucking pass by. And that's the ode to the things that pass by. Every good, hard-working Geordie. I'll never be able to capture the essence of what you have. But I need you to be a poet. Because I know that essence of what you have is far bigger, far better, and far greater than anything I could ever be. I hope in my life that I get to become a published writer. But more so, I hope that I'm able to work with people in Newcastle and to let them know and to affirm to them every single day I get to wake up and maybe work at it. You know, work with the Lit and Phil, work with New Writing North, work with all these people, and just be able to get kids and adults and oldies and elders, and just confirm every single one of you have a story to tell through an art form that you hold precious. And every day there's something that's blocking that, something that's wanting to prevent that because it's jealous of the beauty and the gift that you hold within yourself. The image of God that's in your heart, that absolute beauty that you have as a person. And fuck it, because I don't think it deserves a say in any part of your life. Please be the artist and make this into an ode of the things that should have passed by, but we held on to because we're stubborn fuckers and we like a good bit of art. Experiment, pick your form, find what it is that you love, and do it. Everyone's so unique and special.